Well, SpaceX is continuing to get spicy and give me story ideas. 2 days in a row now, they've sent emails directly to my inbox. Yesterday was an HLS update that was also defending how much work they've been doing behind the scenes on the human landing system that they rightfully won the contract for back in 2021. And also doubling down that, hey, we're not going to cost taxpayers extra money, and this idea of reopening the contract is silly. And today, still in that same topic, they sent an email saying revisionist history from a paid lobbyist. So immediately my interest was piqued. And once again, this is sort of relating to all of the recent drama, this idea that maybe NASA will open up the competition for the human landing system for the Artemis mission, and SpaceX is basically fighting back. So this, actually, Sean Duffy was not the target of this email. SpaceX writes, in case you missed it, we post the following on X. Like many Americans, we are thankful for Mr. Bridenstine's service leading NASA at one point. He deserves credit for spearheading the creation of the Artemis program. After departing NASA, he even created a lobbying firm called the Artemis Group, representing a host of aerospace companies vying for NASA business. And if you didn't know, they're referring to Jim Bridenstine, who was the head of NASA for a few years. They go on to write, Mr. Bridenstine's current campaign against Starship is either misguided or intentionally misleading. SpaceX was selected to design and develop a human landing system for Artemis along with Blue Origin and Dianetics during Mr. Bridenstine's tenure as NASA administrator, and they link an article from 2020 to prove this fact. Starship was then selected by NASA for the Artemis 3 mission through fair and open competition after being identified as the best and lowest risk technical option, and the lowest price by a wide margin by the civil servant team appointed to lead the agency's exploration mission by Mr. Bridenstine himself. The decision to select Starship was confirmed repeatedly following protests and litigation from the companies not selected, which delayed the start of work on the contract for many months. Mr. Bridenstine's recent musings promoting a new landing system, going so far as to invoke the Defense Production Act, are being misreported as though they were the unbiased thoughts of a former NASA administrator. They are not. To be clear, he is a paid lobbyist. He is representing his client's interests, and his comments should be seen for what they are, a paid lobbyist effort to secure billions more in government funding for his clients who are already years late and billions of dollars over budget. Whoa. So this is not, again, a very subtle, this is like even less subtle than the HLS update, which I should also add that SpaceX also recently announced that they're developing a simplified lunar landing mission architecture. And they're also defending the progress, of course, by showing all of the behind the scenes work they've been doing on the HLS lander. But in that statement, they talked about devising a new approach to get astronauts on the lunar surface faster than the current plan for Artemis 3, but didn't really share many details. And so I thought that SpaceX initially coming out and giving us more information about HLS was directly because of Sean Duffy's comments, who is the acting NASA administrator right now. But apparently at an October 29th conference, according to spacenews.com, the former NASA administrators Charlie Bolden and Jim Bridenstine expressed skepticism that the current Starship-based architecture could enable NASA to land astronauts on the moon before China's first crewed lunar mission, which is projected around 2030. Bridenstine, who SpaceX mentioned is currently a lobbyist for several space companies, suggested the government consider a crash program to build a new lander using authorities such as Defense Production Act. But SpaceX is over here like, well, hold on. We've already completed 49 milestones under the HLS contract, adding that the vast majority of those milestones were completed on or ahead of schedule, and they have the receipts. But as spacenews.com points out, and it isn't false, work on the overall lander is behind earlier public schedules. For example, NASA officials said earlier this year they had expected SpaceX to demonstrate this year the transfer of liquid oxygen and methane propellants from one Starship to another in low Earth orbit. This will be a critical capability since Starship HLS missions will require multiple launches of tanker Starships to fill a depot Starship in orbit, which will then fuel the lander version of Starship. Lori Glaze, NASA's acting associate administrator for exploration systems development, said, "We were anticipating that it would be completed by this year. Clearly, that is slipping." So anyway, I don't want to fluff this video out more than I need to, but I did want to follow up on this just because I'm thankful that SpaceX is sending all of these story ideas to my inbox, but I really think that they want this information to get out there and to defend themselves. And, you know, all of the hard work that they've been doing, I still don't know anyone who would work faster than SpaceX. So if they even were to reopen the contract for competition, who is going to beat SpaceX? I don't know. Maybe it's possible, but I did want to just give you an update because I'm not used to, SpaceX. We've seen them in the past sometimes clap back or defend themselves, advocate for themselves when misinformation is being passed around, but we haven't seen it kind of this spicy in a while. And so thought you might find it interesting, but thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.